So NXT happened, and not much really is there to be desired or to give a fuck really. But yeah, looks like they're because this is the show. It was like the last show before like next week's Tuesday Night War. So basically, for those who don't know, next week is good. NXT is basically gearing up to be the Tuesday Night War with AEW, since AEW is going to be forced to have to do a show on Tuesday next week. But yeah, so this is like the fallout from NXT, No Mercy, and it's like not much was given. Show started with the women, and no one really cares about women's goddamn wrestling, especially when Becky Lynch and the bird has come around to to the football. I don't fucking care. Like, who gives a shit? She's annoying, and they talk like, you know, I was supposed to I have a little blocker for no Halloween Havoc, but I'm going to be the Halloween Havoc. I'm gonna, I'm hailing up late now. Because I got a hole in my arm, but I prevailed to no mercy, and I'm gonna go. Like, who gives a fuck? It eventually becomes a ship blender segment where live Akira talks about how, you're an Irish girl, you're gonna spy on me, and all, like, who gives a shit? But then we see Indy Hartwell, like, this is gonna bring any viewership and ratings for fuck any reason. Like, who gives a fuck why she's on NXT again? I mean, she should just stay on NXT. Why the fuck she got promoted to the main roster, anyways? But whatever. Roxanne Perez comes up. Apparently, she got booed and whatever. I don't know. She wants to win back the title that she never got a chance to win back or whatever. I don't know. And then Becky Lynch was like, you know what? Why don't you guys have a triple threat match or something? Don't you know? Like, who gives a fuck? And then like and they'll get NXT title shot for whoever wins against Becky and Tegan Knox on the first week of Halloween Havoc. So they're doing 2 nights of Halloween Havoc there. And it's like, what? The main event is with the women? Like, who the fuck gives a shit? Butch and Tyler Bate defeats Gallus, but then Butch and Tyler Bate gets beat up by Gallus, but then Ridge Holland makes the save and he's back on NXT. So, wow, this is match is gonna very intriguing stuff or whatever. We get this Izo Dragunov coming out, and he's very, you deserve a chance. Like, who gives a shit? Everybody apparently deserves it to these people. We see Idra just coming out, talking about how he's happy to be champion, blah, blah, blah. You wrestle all the world, we worked hard. But then Trick Williams does come out. Trick thanking Idra for pushing him to another level at Heatwave and saying that he's proud of, and then Idra saying he's proud of Trick. Melo comes out, he's acting like a jealous ex, apparently. Mel finds it odd that for Trick to be thanking Dragunov when he is champion material. Mello telling that winning a title is one thing, but defending is a number. It just starts this conversation between champs. He's thinking this about champs or whatever. Even though like they're supposedly respecting each other, or whatever. Mello offering Trick to be in his corner, and then Trick denying his offering because he needs to do this on his own. He said. I don't, whatever. Apparently, the Seats are planning for their supposed breakup or whatever. I don't know. It is what it is. Kayla defeats Indy Hartwell and Roxanne Perez because Kiana James got involved for some fucking reason, and then great, we're gonna see the Irish lasses on the like this is like the main event for anyone who gives a shit. We see Braun Breaker confronts Mello, talking about how it feels to lose the title and whatever, and he's how he's going through emotions. Braun is instigating Mello that to turn on Trick, and is he costing Trick the title tonight? Cliche, whatever. Baron Corbin goes on to challenge Ilja Dragunov or whatever. I don't fucking care really, but it is what it is. Gigi Dolan defeats Blair Davenport with the most devastating move to roll up, and then Blair Davenport attacks the men. Like, whatever, like the fucking referee. Why always like the men gotta look emasculated and they can't fight back? Like, holy shit. James talks about how Roxanne Perez will pay, and she'll pay by having to face Asuka next week. Because, get it, that's apparently a big match to make people care about NXT there. Well, that's not the only thing that starts like to make people care about NXT, apparently. We get a preview of the NXT breakout tournament. We get like the brackets or whatever. See a bunch of women, and then we see this bitch named Kalini Jordan defeats Izzy Dame. I was kind of hoping to see more of Izzy Dame because I don't know, she just look more attractive. But I'm hoping to see this bitch portrayal because I think she's hot. This is Carmen bitch. Yeah, 4 women's matches in a row. Like, come on, too much fucking women's wrestling. We see backstage that like Tia Hale and JC Jane getting ready for the match. They go the Chase University people goes to wish Tia Hale, but then they ask like why not like be supporting their match, but then Tia Hale like no, but then JC Jane's like insists like why not, whatever. Now JC Jane defeated Electra Lopez, Lola Vice. Lola Vice, I believe, is going to be in the breakout tournament or whatever. And yeah, so much for like promoting how she's, and especially like they're supposed to be like tough MMA bitches, and then like they still lose. Whatever, it's not a problem. Helps with the supposed story with this. And yes, Tia Hale does look pretty hot. So along with JC Jane, it's good stuff. Melo backstage talked about how he got advice from the greatest of all time to that he's gonna face Braun Breaker, and for some reason, John Cena will be at his corner next week against Braun Breaker. Again, listen. So they're basically trying to pull off all the stops because NXT is going to be having some competition with AEW. And because, it's going to be Edge's first match on AEW, they're bringing John Cena to be Carmelo Hayes' manager for some fucking reason. And for some reason, we get Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker again. For some reason. Really doesn't make any sense. They're clearly desperate for ratings, so. Or they're trying to, get one up on AEW, even though this honestly makes no sense. I can't even defend this, honestly. But it's gonna definitely make people care, even though Cena's not wrestling. It would make more sense, why not Carmelo? It would make more sense if, it was, a tag team match. Carmelo Hayes has to pick a tag team partner, and he picks Cena, while Braun Breaker picks a tag team partner, maybe from the main roster, and it would make more fucking sense. But it's just what? Whatever. I don't fucking know. Well, this tweet, it does make sense, huh? The rivalry has been... Isn't that darn shame we didn't get this match when Edge came back? And that's fucking WWE's fault. It's only renewed by fucking, the Tuesday Night War. What the fuck? That doesn't stop there, ladies and gentlemen. A major announcement from Cody Rhodes on NXT. So they're bringing John Cena and Cody Rhodes on NXT. Oh, boy. For next week, Oscar versus Arsen Perez, Cody Rhodes major announcement, and John Cena in the corner of Carmelo Hayes versus Braun Breaker. Dominik Mysterio does regain his North American Championship from Trick Williams. Kind of was predictable about Mommy or whatever, how Dom doesn't come home. I don't hate this because I guess it's clearly a sort of ratings boost type of thing to make people care. It's not it helps with the story. Does it make sense for I don't know that tell pay-per-view, you're spending money for a pay-per-view type of thing, even though whatever. I mean, it's whatever. It's a little bit of a story there idea, and also not just that, it's kind of it makes people, it's like a hot shotting type of thing to make people care about the show. Paul Heyman shows up on NXT in the end of the show, and he talks about how I spoke to the tribal chief, and the tribal chief has insisted that you do not just be there, taking orders from attacks or whatever, but to be there and be on the side of Braun Breaker. Originally, when I saw this, I thought Paul Heyman was talking about how Roman Reigns. Well, he does mention Roman Reigns. It made it sound like he was going to be on NXT, but it turns out it's just going to be Paul Heyman. But if Roman was going to be on NXT, that would have definitely been something. But he's sadly not going to be on NXT. So there you go. This is what their way of making people care about NXT. So yeah, they're basically hot-shotting to cooking up some stuff to make people care about NXT. Is it going to be enough? I don't fucking know. It is what it is. This show, kind of boring.